Like I thought about it after I left the church. Like, let me add up like how many Sundays my ass went to church from this 28th year of my life all the way back till I can remember, and then just assume I did exact 10%. Like, I want my money back.
Why they keep on calling my name? Jill.
Yeah, I actually was given that name at the Oyo Tunji from the village of South Carolina, but people lifetime, he now deceased. You saw the birth of a nation when that turned a movie. The opening scene, that turned into a child. That mother takes him to the spiritual reach. The elder that's sitting down reading him, that's his lifetime. He's the senior elder at the Oyo Tunji. And he's the one who named his name, but he didn't choose the name. You got to put that in Right. Appreciate you, Bro.Bilal.
So we're dancing no more.
No more. Never been, to be honest.
Peace. It's the beard of that room. Everything is real. I'm with my brother Bilal. Earlier, we was chopping it up on Dunya versus Deen. Elaborate on that, brother. Tell them your name. Tell them what it means.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. It's Bilal, and we made a post earlier kind of represent an Islamic quote, Deen over Dunya. Two Islamic words. Deen is just a word that means loosely like the way of life, your way of being, your way of existence within yourself, as yourself, within your community, and as a part of your community, all overall. Dunya is just worldly ways from your they come from your lower self. Ways that keep you away from the Most High, ways that keep you away from God, ways that keep you away from Allah. You want to use that term. So the whole phrase "Deen over Dunya" is a shortened way to say something that means a heck of a lot more. Deen over Dunya pretty much means the way of life, the way of being, the way of existence that is pleasing to the Most High is over the way of the world. So anything that you can do throughout the course of your day, to yourself, to or for anybody else, is better than what they're trying to tell you that you need to be doing on TV, the television, listening to the program.
So, before you go deeper, what is like the real difference between the Deen and the Dunya?
The real difference is the Deen itself is what's prescribed through Islam. Islam at the religious level, Islam at the spiritual level, the esoteric and exoteric. It can be explained a couple ways, but the Deen is essentially the way of life, living in accordance with those principles. There's plenty of principles you can kind of go into, but to kind of go over them all, belief in Allah, belief in the last day, belief in the day of judgment, belief in the divine decree, belief in the angels of God, belief that when you pray to God, God sees you praying to Him, and even if you don't see God seeing you pray to Him, you have to know that God sees you doing it. It teaches a person to be constantly conscious of Allah. That in itself is the Deen. Now, waking up in the morning and then going outside and then living out your lower self, your lower nature, the ways of the world, walking up and down the street in the hood, thugging it with the homeboys, matching up, drinking 40s and whatnot. That's the way of the world. Nowhere in any spiritual teaching, nowhere did any prophet, nowhere did any messenger come to you and say, I want you to pray to Allah 5 times a day, but in between those 5 times a day, I want you to get high as hell and get drunk. It didn't. Because as a part of the Deen, you know you have to pray in an hour and 5 minutes coming up. And your homeboys want to go to a party. You know you can't do that because you have to be clean, you have to be pure, you have to have on your best clothes, you got to make wudu, you got to make purification, and you can't make a conscious prayer to Allah outside of yourself or to Allah within yourself as your Most High in a state of intoxication. It's simple. People try to religify it, but it's logic and sound reasoning. You can't pray to God drunk. How you know where the prayer gonna go to? That's the way of the world. So you don't associate ways of the world with ways of the Deen. You keep them separate. That's why that phrase Deen over Dunya But the Deen is on top. We ain't gonna put it side by side and say the Deen is greater than the Dunya. No, it's on top of it. It's at a whole different level, at a different degree, if you will. But the Deen is definitely over the Dunya.
Even in that, Dunya is something that you do, right? Deen is something like a way of life. Deen would be actually the culture there, right?
Pretty much. The culture itself prescribed by the teachings, the culture itself prescribed by Islam, the culture itself prescribed by the law, the jurisprudence, the culture itself based on the principles of the people that embody it. Like the Murids in Senegal, Barke Sheki Rafal, they have a completely different culture based off of Islam than you would catch in the Arab world. But to them over there in Senegal, you can't tell them that they ain't less Muslim than them Arabs are, because they still know the full Quran front and back. They know what it means. They know the inner meaning. They know the outer meaning. They know how to apply it. And when you look at their society, everybody gets along. Everybody smiles at each other, and nobody steals. People can leave their business when the call to prayer comes on and not lock the doors. Run to the mosque and make their prayer and not have to worry that anybody is going to go into their building to take anything out of it. That comes from living in adherence to what is prescribed to be upon the course of the Deen, the way of life, the way of being, the way of existence. It's all encompassing. But the way of the world, bro, I be trying to let the damn door open the homeland. What? And he went to the mosque. The way of the world. I'm trying to come up on something somebody else done work to get, instead of using the Most High to get it myself. I can get it, and I can get something better and something bigger. Jesus said it in the Bible, isn't it? You'll do these things that is not greater than I. Don't talk me up, talk yourself up, man. Talk yourself up.
Speaking of the Deen, there's meditation, dua, prayer, does all that fall up on the Deen?
Yeah, that's a definite part of the Deen. Those are some of the things that are prescribed on the strict adherence to the Sharia and the religious side, but it's all encompassing in the Deen itself. The Deen is the umbrella, and everything involved with Islam is up under that umbrella. If I wake up and I miss my Fajr Salat, and I intentionally go throughout the rest of the day and don't make it up, knowing that I intentionally missed it, I'm up under that umbrella. Well, I'm not up under that umbrella anymore, because I'm not in concordance with the Deen. I didn't take my 5 daily prayers seriously. I didn't take the time out to get in contact and tune with my higher self to make sure I can carry that thought process throughout the course of the day into my next prayer. I missed it. So my vibration was off from the get-go. And then I lied to myself to say that it was going to be okay for me not to make that prayer. I'll just make it at the next one. I'll make it up. What happened the next prayer come around? My homeboy said they going to the bootleg, and I gotta go to the party with them. So yeah, I'm finna go get all my clothes and I'm finna go hang out with them. I will make up all 5 of my prayers when I get home tonight. Now what I do with the bootleg, I got plastered, drunk. My homeboy had to bring me home. Now tell me the next day when I woke up, did I make that Fajr Salat, or did I make up them 5 daily prayers? Nope, because I started the day off with the wrong mindset, worried about the dunya. Worried about the world. Forgot that first prayer and went out that door and lived in the world. If I'd have made that first prayer, I'd have went out there with the mindset of being one with Allah. My actions probably would have mirrored that. But since I didn't,
If you miss a prayer, does it throw off your day, or do you feel like you did something wrong if you miss a prayer throughout the day?
Like personally, on the personal level, yeah, it does. Just for that same thing, it becomes a routine, and then you apply meaning, and then you apply energy to it, and you apply connection to Allah with it. Now it becomes a ritual, and if you leave out or you miss that daily ritual that you've now used to set and establish your vibration to start the day off with, and you don't do it, the vibration's off already, because you made the intention to skip it, knowing what it does for you, and expect it for it to make you vibrate that same way without doing it. No, that's why it's best to do it.
earlier, well, the past couple days, when I hit you up and we be talking, we talk about your new path you're going on. We talk about Sufism.
Oh, brother, that's deep.
Yeah, man, tell me about that real quick.
Oh, real quick. The beginning, the middle, and the end of Sufism is one thing. La ilaha illallah. That's it. There's no God but Allah. On the next level, like there's no existence but Allah. On the next level, there is no existence but the divine reality. That divine reality is me and you, bro, and we it. La ilaha illallah. Nothing but that.
Since that's on your new path and your new journey, have you saw some differences in traditions of the way that you already been, carrying your culture?
Nah. Honestly, no, not too many differences because the practices from Islam, I know where the Arabs stole them from. And I know who the Arabs stole them from. So I found them people in history to determine what they were doing when the Arabs stole it from them. And some of their practices they were doing in Kemet and Nubia back then are the exact same practices that we're doing today. So my ancestors that come from what we call Libya today, they were making salat 3 times a day already. It's carved in stone in Libya right now. We can go find it. You can find it online, but if you want to go to it, there are rock carvings that show our ancestors praying 3 and 5 times a day, thousands of years before any Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, Krishna, peace be upon all of them. So I didn't find any difference or any separation at all because I verified that it was my practice already. Just went back and verified that it was, and then came back with it from the source though, not from the Arab, but from the source though.
All right. Indeed, we out here with book signing with. Let me see if I can get him with Umar Johnson.
I've seen it one time, but I don't want to get
It's the beard of that root, and everything is real. Peace.
Why they keep on calling my name? Jill.
Like I thought about that after I left the church. Like, let me add up like how many Sundays my ass went to church from this 28th year of my life all the way back till I can remember, and then just assume I did exact 10%. Like, I want my money back.